are back. It's time for a little bit more Pick Six Headliner Nation. Jake and Kyle here for some football, some fun, and a whole lot of shenanigans, and no fart spray this week.
That's right. I'm glad that you have recovered from that, Kyle, because I
don't know if I have recovered, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. You probably haven't spent much time in your office, but that's okay. I was kind of hoping it would like soak into the carpet, so every time you walked in there, you'd be like, but obviously.
I thought about like going down there and like sniffing that area, but I'm like, I'll puke. I can't do it. Nope.
You don't ever want to go sniff your own carpet, Kyle. That's like a rule. You don't want to do that. Kyle, it is Super Bowl week, Kyle. The Super Bowl is here. And either,
yes,
is it just me, Kyle? I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are really 50-50 this year. Either you're looking forward to the Super Bowl or you don't give two craps. Like you just don't care. It's just like in other years where even if you're a casual fan, maybe you care. I don't think the casuals really care that much this year.
No, Kansas City fans are excited.
Yep.
Philadelphia fans are excited.
Philadelphians.
Taylor Swift fans are excited. Nobody else cares.
No one else cares?
No one else cares.
That's okay. I mean, I somewhat care, but I more care for the game day snacks.
That's true. That is true. I think if there's anything to be excited about, it's bacon wrapped cocktail weenies. It's buffalo chicken dip. Okay, some meatballs.
Or wings.
A little remock.
Like a normal American. Wings.
Wait, Pete, did you? Oh, wings?
You're not going to have no wings, Kyle? Who doesn't eat wings?
Wings are they're overdone. I don't feel like you have to have wings at every sporting event. But anyway, Jake, let's talk about the big game. And let's talk about who we think is going to potentially win. And there is one thing that I think will happen during this game. I think everyone's going to get bored because I think we're going to see more defense than offense.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm really interested to hear what you say about that. And honestly, I feel like would you be surprised, Kyle, if the end score is like 19-17?
I wouldn't be shocked if the end score was 13-10 with a field goal in the last 2 seconds to win the game.
Damn, that's super boring right there.
It is. It is, but Philadelphia has one of the best defenses in football. They completely redid their secondary this year, which is awesome. And on the ground, they're pretty solid against the run.
Yep.
And Kansas City is doing something during their Super Bowl run this year that they haven't in previous years. And it's basically doing it all with their defense. They've had one of the best defenses all year long. They haven't given up 100 rushing yards in 18 straight games. That's crazy considering Saquon Barkley has 9 games over that, like 9 in his last 15 or something, I think is what I read.
Wow. That's a lot.
Something's going to have to break. Something's going to have to break this weekend.
And if I had to guess, if something was going to break, I would give it to the favor of Patrick Mahomes over anyone else. Tough run defense in Kansas City, going to be tough for Saquon. Tough run defense in Philadelphia. Kansas City doesn't really run that much anyway. Then when we look at the passing game, Jalen Hurts not being 100% healthy hasn't really been airing it out down the field much at all this entire year, whether he was healthy or not. So I kind of got to give it to Patrick Mahomes again, which is kind of who I picked to win the Super Bowl when we started this whole playoff venture anyway. But I don't know if that really surprises anyone. Do I want the Chiefs to win? Am I rooting for them? Absolutely not. Am I rooting for the Eagles? Absolutely not. I don't really care who wins, Kyle. I just hope it's a good game. I would love it to be like 32-35, but the chance of that happening are slim to none, and slim as outside warming up the car.
You know what I would rather have more than anything is like the winning team win 35-3.
Wow.
Because then I don't have to listen to people complain on social media for the next week about how somebody did something in this game to give the game to the other team and the refs did this and I hated that.
That's one of the smartest things you've ever said, Kyle.
Exactly. Then we don't have to worry about it. And you know what? Once again, we're not watching for either of the teams anyway, so I'll just be eating the entire time. Who cares what the score is?
Yeah, I mean, okay, who do you pick though? Kyle, let's pick a team and a score. Who wins and what's the score?
I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Kansas City 17-13. Touchdown in the fourth quarter wins it.
I'm going to say Kansas City 24-13. And there's a defensive touchdown on the side of Kansas City that gets them that high.
I like that.
That's
I like that prediction.
That's where we're going. So we're both going Kansas City. Don't worry,
Yes.
we're not Chiefs fans out there. We're not Eagles. We're just hoping for a damn good game, Kyle.
Or a blowout.
Well, I mean, that would be a good game for us, right?
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah.
From our perspective, that's a good game.
Yes.
Let us know
absolutely.
down below in the comment section, though, who do you want to win, if you even care? And if you don't care, tell us what the hell you're going to be eating all day long. That's more important right now.
Jake, you know what I'm going to do? I didn't even consult with Jake on this beforehand.
This never works out well for me.
We should do a little giveaway.
What do you want to give away?
I don't know. I know that we have autographed mini helmets left from the team.
Yep.
So you could get a Fantasy Headliners autographed mini helmet. I don't know what we have memorabilia wise, but what we could do down in the comments below, whoever picks the correct team and is closest to the scores, the tiebreaker, will win.
And then if there is a tie with correct team and score, whoever left their comment first.
Yes, I like that.
Okay. And
Absolutely.
you put me on the spot, so I don't even know what
I did.
else we do have to give away.
We've got stuff.
We got stuff. You didn't
Does
let
anybody
me-
want an autographed Russell Wilson cleat?
Yeah, I got one of those.
We have one of those.
I think I have an autographed Saquon Barkley mini helmet of the Giants.
The Giants. Oh, okay.
Maybe what we'll do is whoever we pick to win, we'll just give them options and they can just choose what they want out of the options.
I like it. Put your comment down below.
do that.
Your chance to win. On to segment 2. Let's talk about some underdog picks for Super Bowl weekend. And Jake has been just at his computer with frivolous studying all week long, locked in, trying to find his best 3 picks of the week. Jake, I'm going to give you the stage first. What are we going to be taking a look at over on Underdog?
Kyle, you just talked about in segment 1, the rushing defense of Philadelphia. Solid.
Yes.
Right? It's
Yes.
solid. And we talked about the rushing defense of Kansas
Not as
City.
solid as me on a Friday night.
That's debatable. That's been a long time since you've been solid, Kyle. Anyway, I'm looking at Kareem Hunt here first. Now, Kareem Hunt, I expect to get more touches than Isaiah Pacheco. That's kind of how it's been here as of late. But Kareem Hunt isn't really known for busting the big one, Kyle. So... I mean, so I've heard. Anyway, I mean, I've never met the man.
What I just said so well.
I mean, sometimes it just works, Kyle. Anyway, Kareem Hunt. I'm going to go lower than 14.5 yards on his longest rush. He's just going to dink and dunk, Kyle, and quit trying to throw me off my mojo here by talking about busting the big one.
In the comments down below, if you think Kareem Hunt goes lower than 14.5 for his longest rush, put hashtag bust a big one.
Busting big ones. Anyway, yeah, I don't see the big one here. I think if a big one happens, it's going to be from Isaiah Pacheco in his handful of carries. So I'm going lower than 14.5 longest rush for Kareem Hunt. That's number 1. The second one, I'm going with his teammate Xavier Worthy. We're going to a wide receiver, but I'm going over 39.5 receiving yards. He's led the team in targets from the wide receiver position, and he can definitely do something after the catch. I don't know if he gets a deep ball down the field, but a crossing pattern that picks up 25, maybe a chunk play here or there, I definitely think he can go over 39.5 receiving yards. I'm smashing the higher over on Underdog there as well. But how?
So what you're saying is Xavier Worthy can bust a big one?
Xavier Worthy is definitely capable of busting the big one. And then lastly, Kyle, for our friends over here at Underdog, I'm going to take Saquon's ridiculous line. You can get Saquon Barkley lower than 139.5.
That's so high.
That is stupid high. Like, is he capable? Sure. But he's going up against the best run defense in football. Also a guy that can bust a big one, Kyle. But I don't see the big one happening here. And if they fall behind, they're going to be forced to throw the ball a little bit more. So I'm taking Saquon Barkley lower than 139.5. That's just rushing yards. That is not even total yards, Kyle. That is just rushing yards. The fact that I can get that line right now is redonkulous. And then
if Saquon Barkley rushes for 140 or more yards in this game,
they win.
Philadelphia loses, everyone should be fired on that team. Everyone.
That's
the
probably
players, front office, coaches, get rid of all of them.
Everybody
If
but
he
Saquon.
runs
Saquon is the only one that
104
stays.
He's the only one that
I
can
gotcha.
stay, and he becomes the GM and head coach. So he can just pick the
He
team
can just
around.
do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants to.
Okay. Well, Kyle, those are my 3 picks.
Jake, those
Did you
are
like my
really,
3 picks, by the way?
Those are really solid
Okay,
picks.
thanks.
I like those picks. I liked how you were, describing some of these guys as whether or not they can bust big ones. I feel like that was inappropriate, but that's what happens
That's
here.
what we do here.
But even with those 3 picks, I got to say that my pick is way better. Way better.
I mean, how can you say that, Kyle?
And I'm going to guarantee my pick is going to hit.
You're going to wait. You're going to guarantee it?
Guarantee it.
Well, if that's the case, Kyle,
or
then there's...
I record the next show with no pants on.
Okay. What if
Joke's
the player
on you,
gets?
I don't
What if the player gets hurt in pregame?
Then I won't be wearing any pants. But joke's on you, I'm not wearing any pants right now.
Hey, Kyle,
ladies
real quick
and
then,
gentlemen,
before you
yes.
spoil them with this pick that is supposedly so great. If this is the case, that this pick is going to hit, now is the time for some new people to sign up over on Underdog so they can win some money while they're eating delicious snacks and watching potentially a boring game.
Well, Jake, it's interesting that you say that because the only way you can get this pick is by signing up over on Underdog. Because right now, if you sign up over on Underdog using code word headliners, you're going to get a super special Travis Kelce pick'em of 0.5 total yards as his line.
So he only needs 1 yard.
He just needs 1 yard. And it could be a rushing yard. It could be a receiving yard, whatever. And you're golden. And you go ahead and pair that up with some of the ones that we just talked about here. And I tell you what, you're going to be seeing a whole lot of green. But on top of that, new people who sign up are also going to get a no sweat token that they can use during the Super Bowl as well. You know what that means? Put together your favorite Underdog lineup, put that in, hit submit, put the token with it. And even if it doesn't work out in your favor, you're getting your money back. Right now is the time that you need to get signed up over on Underdog, and you need to use code word headliners when you do it.
All right, so here it is, Kyle. Let me lay it out. Let me get the for dummies version. Sign up for a new account on Underdog. Use the referral code headliners. Make your initial minimum $10 deposit. You're going to get the free Travis Kelce pick and a no sweat token to go along with the 3 picks that we just gave you that we absolutely love for the Super Bowl. So hopefully we can all walk away with a little bit of money there after the game is over, Kyle. Did I miss anything?
You did not miss anything.
Perfect.
But you know what, Jake? I say we move on. Let's have a fun segment here. Let's talk about the best thing that we have seen recently. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. Jake and I, as fantasy analysts, football analysts, we scour the web for lots of different things to keep up with everything going on in the world of sports. And while we're doing that, sometimes we have some videos come across social media that aren't football related. So we want to talk about the best things that we saw this past week. Jake, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about yours first.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you one, Kyle, and I want to see your reaction. Now, this is something that's been in the news that we've heard about for years, but I want you to go ahead and watch video number 1, and let's see what you think about eating some dubs, Kyle.
No, you say it, and I already have a feeling I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Catch a W for me.
I'm gonna try and catch a dub for you, big dog.
Just catch this W first.
So when I first saw this video, I didn't realize what he was throwing. I was like, what did he just take a bite out of?
Yeah.
And then I realized he had thrown a cookie up there.
Jameis Winston is a national treasure, Kyle.
He is.
Having this dude be
absolutely is.
A part of the media for Super Bowl week, he's out there asking players if they can catch dubs, and he's throwing cookies at them. I mean, a guy that can make fun of his own self. I mean, he had a crab commercial come out not that long ago. It is just great to watch Jameis Winston out there having a good time, especially during the Super Bowl.
Life.
He is.
He's
dude.
living life.
I want to hang out with him for the day.
And honestly, let me say this: he should just give up football. He should just give up. He should be done. He should retire, and he should focus on the media side of things.
Yeah.
Look at how some of these guys are doing after their football career is over. Jason Kelce having a big year in the media after he finishes up. Obviously, Tom Brady's one of the highest paid broadcasters in the world right now just because he played football. He was pretty good at it too while he was doing it. Pat McAfee, with his charisma He should just be done with it.
Oh yeah, dude, he could have so much fun.
I feel like Barstool could give him his own show.
And people would freaking watch it like crazy.
People would watch it. Yes, absolutely. I love Jameis Winston. That dude is hilarious. And it's funny too that like he's so personable like that, because I feel like so many people hated him when he came out of college. And then he did like that dub thing, and people thought it was stupid and
weird.
He's been made fun. So it's good to see him making a little bit of a more positive name for himself right now than maybe some of the things that carried on before him.
Yep. All right, now is it my turn, Kyle? I get to watch something. Do you need to set this up at all?
Jake, my son likes watching YouTube videos. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He likes watching YouTube videos. And there's a particular YouTuber that recently was given basically a blank check to make his own game show on Amazon. And if you don't know who I'm talking about the man himself, the guy that's actually just down the road from you, Jake, Mr. Beast, who over on Amazon Prime or Prime Video, whatever you want to call it, the first 8 episodes, I believe, of Beast Games are out now. And I started watching it because Mr. Beast videos are hilarious and they're funny and all that good stuff. My son likes watching them. I watch them too. So I decided I'm going to check out Beast Games. The clip that I sent you was from the 3rd episode. And I literally have not been able to get this out of my mind since. Go ahead and watch it. Have you watched any of this?
I've seen clips, but I have not seen like full episodes all the way through or anything like that.
Okay. Well, check the clip first, because basically what happened, and I can set this up, in the 2nd episode at the end of it, all the contestants were split into 4 teams, and they had to pick one person to be their captain. Their captain had to go stand up on this gigantic platform, and a video board behind them was going to start just running up a dollar amount. And it wasn't going to stop until it either hit $1 million or one of those captains hit the button in front of them. If the captain would have hit the button, they would have kept whatever the money was up on the screen. Their entire team would have been eliminated, and they would have been able to continue playing in Beast Games, which has a grand prize of $5 million.
I like it.
Go ahead and watch what happens.
All right, let me see what happens.
Taking it? Is he taking it?
What?
Oh my God.
You guys mean more to me than that screen.
Kyle,
I would have sent those guys packing so quickly.
dude, I mean, you're my boy, right? I would have eliminated you for at least $750,000.
Exactly. Now, I would have anticipated you making it up later on for me a little bit, probably at some point. That's okay. We can.
I would have, once it hit 900,000, it's almost a no-brainer to me. Like, I get it.
900,000? Listen, I said to myself, like, when it started going up, I said to myself, if I'm a captain, I'm thinking at 500,000, I want to hit that button. It got to 500 and it just kept going. I was like, holy crap. $1 million.
But you think about it, though.
$1 million?
If you get to 900,000, you're going to lose 40% of it to taxes. So you're only getting the $500,000.
I tell you what, I would punch a child for $1 million, let alone hit a button and eliminate a bunch of people that I don't know and I'm never going to see.
Do you know this
again.
child, or would you not know this child? Just a random child.
It really depends. It really depends. If somebody came up to me and said, I'll give you $1 million if the next kid that walked by you side eyes you a little bit, elbow right to the face.
Wow. So you go to prison for $1 million?
No, because I would just pay the parents.
Like, listen, I'm sorry, that was for a YouTube clip.
$1 million.
Here's 20 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's $100,000 if
I would like to throw out that I do not condone violence against children. I feel like I need to say that in this video.
I mean, it's not my kids.
I condone more violence against you and your own kids than you against random kids.
All right. I have a question. If I elbowed one of your kids for $1 million, would you be okay with it?
You could elbow my son for free. Okay, I got okay. But if you elbowed my daughter, like, I would have to like if it was like in the shoulder, all right. If it was in the face, I would probably beat the crap out of you.
Now, listen, too, here's something. I didn't say where I would elbow this child.
Right. That's why I said only if it was in the face.
Yeah, I didn't say I was gonna like break a nose. I didn't say I was gonna people elbow or something like that. Like I'm not swiping the leg and
Kyle, that's
that.
interesting you say that because that's just set up my next clip perfectly. You just mentioned the people's elbow.
The people's elbow.
I know a lot of people out there watch wrestling. Do you watch wrestling?
Yes, when I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I did too when I was super young. It's been 30 years since I really paid attention to it.
That's not a shot at
No.
Ethan.
Oh, Ethan still watches it. I know he does. I know there's a lot of people out there that follow fantasy football and watch wrestling, but Kyle, my question for you before you watch this clip,
Okay.
do you think it's time for one more yeet?
One more yeet?
Yeet. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Was this when Speed got absolutely jackhammered?
I wanted to use that, but I figured that was a little bit more widely known than this one.
He got smoked.
Dude, he got smoked. I definitely saw that. No, this is different. Maybe check out the next clip that I sent you.
Okay. I want a pair of those glasses.
Yeah.
Yeetland? Was this guy's name Yeet?
No.
Oh. What's this guy's name?
I think his name is Jay Uso. But
I knew you were gonna get up there.
apparently, Kyle,
They're into it.
they everybody out there do the yeet. I think this is called the yeet, Kyle. I don't know.
Does this guy have a tramp stamp? Did I just see that?
I don't think so. It looked like he had like full body tattoos. Like,
Okay.
But here's the deal: is like
McAfee is up.
yeah, McAfee was standing on the desk and everything. But here's what's crazy, Kyle, is apparently this dude came out and did his intro, and the crowd was chanting for one more yeet. So they started his music, and he started going again. This dude, how would you like to walk into an arena with 20,000 people and have that happen to you? Most of the time, you walking into an arena, Kyle, of 20,000 people, people don't even know you exist, Kyle.
That's not entirely true. The last Lions game I went to, somebody recognized me.
Yeah,
Kyle from the
that was a
Fantasy
stadium, not an arena. Larger sample size. Just saying. I want to know if people out there know about one more yeet. And then I also want to know, what the hell is a yeet? And if it's something cool, I want to start yeeting all over the place, Kyle. I think we should just yeet in public randomly. The next time we're together, maybe at the combine, we should just randomly yeet in our seats.
Please do not on camera on the internet say you want to yeet with me before we know what in the world that means.
What happens when it's like dinner time? I say, hey, Kyle, you want to go yeet? Then does it make sense then?
Oh, boy.
I hope yeet isn't bad.
The only thing I know about yeet is like when you yeet something, it means like to throw it.
Well, they're not throwing. They're just like,
yeah.
One more
I don't
yeet,
know.
Kyle. Let's yeet it out.
Those are the best things that we have seen recently. Let us know down in the comments. Is there something that you've seen that's super hilarious that you want us to check out that maybe we do feature on a video in the future?
I will not click on links, Kyle. I will not click on links and emails.
I will not click on links. Do not leave links. If you're in Discord, however,
Yes.
let us know in Discord. Send us.
Or
links
you can
in
just
Discord.
tag us on X. Like, you know, if we have something
Yeah.
on X you want to share with us, our handles are down below in the description. Share it
Maybe
with us
next
there.
week we can do the best of everything y'all have seen.
Okay.
Segment number 4. Let's talk about redrafting the 2024 NFL draft. These are always fun to kind of come back to later in the offseason after the entire season is played out to see would all of these teams, like, would they have kept the same picks? Would things have changed? With everything we know now, how would this draft look better for these teams? So
Yep.
let's talk about the first 15 picks.
Okay.
Jake and I talked about potentially doing like full length videos on some past drafts and talking about redrafting them, but we figured we'd try it here first just to see how interested people would be and redrafting some prior drafts. So let's start at pick number 1 for the Chicago Bears. They went with Caleb Williams.
Yep.
I think if we redraft, they go with Jaden Daniels. Do you feel like that's correct?
Everything that we know now, yes, Jaden Daniels is probably where I would have gone.
Now, at pick number 2 with Washington, of course, Jaden Daniels is gone. They still needed a quarterback. Is it crazy for me to think that Washington would have went with Drake May over Caleb Williams, knowing what we know now?
I probably think that they still would have gone Caleb Williams just due to media pressure.
Okay.
If you want to talk about potential, like I don't think Drake May is that much different than Caleb Williams. I really don't. Look at the weapons that Caleb Williams had. Drake May didn't have a fraction of that. Had he had the same
Mario Douglas, Hunter Henry,
Kendrick
Kendrick
great.
Bourne.
Yeah, it wasn't
Ashawn Butte.
Booty, rocking everywhere. No, it was just not enough for him to throw the ball to. So I think that they probably still would have gone Caleb Williams, but I wouldn't have hated Drake May in Washington at all.
And we kind of knew coming into this that Caleb Williams was going to have, some diva streaks in him. And I think we still saw that. And I think just for Dan Quinn and what that offense does, I think having Drake May being a little bit more level-headed, I feel like would have been better for that team.
I hear you.
New England, because Drake May's gone now, they need a new player. Knowing what we know now, I think they go Malik Neighbors here.
It would be hard not to.
It would be hard not to.
It would be hard not. They do need a quarterback if they didn't have a quarterback to throw them, but they would have had Jacoby Brissett or something. They could have had another bridge quarterback, get them through. Then they start off 2025 with one of the best wide receivers in football. I like it from an offensive perspective, but I think in real life, they probably would have at that point reached for Caleb Williams had he been there.
Maybe.
It's not really a reach, but they probably would have been forced to take him.
Now at number 4, Arizona already has Kyler Murray. They don't need to take the quarterback. Marvin Harrison Jr. was their pick. I'm switching it to another wide receiver. I'm going Brian Thomas Jr. at number 4 here.
And here's the thing. Brian Thomas Jr. had a great year, but he also got targets, Kyle. And Marvin Harrison Jr. couldn't do anything because he wasn't getting targets. So even though BTJ had the better year, would he have gone to Arizona and still not seen targets? Potentially. And that's what worries me. If we're looking rest of season, I haven't given up on Marvin Harrison Jr. yet. But what we know now, BTJ he is already proven did you just dab? Or was that a sneeze? Okay, both. Okay, gotcha. BTJ is a stud. We already know that now. Marvin Harrison Jr., we still need to find out.
It was a snab.
Got you. I got you.
Achoo.
Achoo.
Let's go on to number 5, the LA Chargers. I don't think their pick changes.
I don't think so either. No.
I mean, we said it time and time again. Everyone's like, they need a wide receiver. They need to do this. I was like, it's Jim Harbaugh. He is going to take an offensive lineman. Joe Alt was fantastic this year as well. I think Joe Alt is still the pick there. The New York Giants, no Malik Neighbors, knowing just how awful Daniel Jones was this past year. They go with Caleb Williams. He goes here at number 6.
Can't argue that.
Tennessee, they went with J.C. Latham. He's still on the board, but I think after seeing Will Levis, they decide, nope, let's go with Bo Nix. Seeing how well he did in Denver, I think he ends up going here at number 7.
Bo knows, and Bo is going to be really good at football the next few years in his career. Tennessee definitely missed the boat on grabbing a quarterback. At least they're going to get an opportunity this year. Is it going to be better than Bo Nix? I don't know if the top quarterbacks this year, either Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, I don't know if I would rather have either one of them over Bo Nix, though, if I'm being honest.
Atlanta, they stay with their pick. They go with Michael Penix. Very good to end the season. I mean, knowing what we know now, it solidifies that pick. Yep. It was a stupid pick at the time. Yeah, it was a stupid pick at the time, but I also didn't expect Kirk Cousins to look as washed as he did this season.
He's crazy washed.
They stick with Michael Penix. The Chicago Bears, they went with Rome Odunze at number 9. I'm going to switch that, and I'm going to go with Talise Fuaga, the offensive tackle that was actually drafted by the New Orleans Saints at number 14, because after seeing what we saw this year from the Chicago Bears,
give me a line.
I would have much rather have had a really good offensive lineman than a really good wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now, Rome Odunze this year with no Keenan Allen, who's potentially moving forward in free agency, that's going to be a really good fit.
Yep.
But the offensive line is still going to be a problem that they need to address.
Yep. Agreed.
Minnesota. So Minnesota went with J.J. McCarthy at number 10. J.J. McCarthy ends up missing the entire year, has to have knee surgery. He's going to more than likely be the starter in 2025. But a few picks later on in the draft, Minnesota actually moved up to take another edge rusher in Dallas Turner. However, I'm going to go with Jared Verse here, who was actually drafted by the LA Rams a little bit later on and had a fabulous rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense at the time to grab J.J. McCarthy because there was so much unknown about Sam Darnold. And even though Sam Darnold faltered at the end of the year, I would personally, as of right now, rather have Sam Darnold and a piece like Jared Verse on my defense than have Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy and try to figure out what's going to happen in 2025.
Mm-hmm. At number 11, the New York Jets, they went with an offensive line, Aluo Fashanu. I don't think they stick there. Now, is offensive line something that they definitely needed? Yes, but with Brock Bowers on the board at number 11, I think they should take Brock Bowers here. I think he should have been the pick.
Probably. I mean, if you had Bowers, Wilson, and Devontae Adams, maybe it helps. Probably not. I mean, the Jets were an absolute dumpster fire. But I mean, offensive-wise, knowing that Aaron Rodgers is at the back end of his career, it would have set up the franchise for the future to at least have multiple young, high-end weapons. It makes sense. They do need an offensive line still, though. They've needed an offensive line forever.
It feels like. Denver, obviously, Bo Nix is gone. They can't draft him anymore. They ended up spending some draft picks on wide receivers later in this draft. But here with no Bo Nix, why don't we go ahead and take one of the best available wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr. Now you have him on the other side to go along with Cortland Sutton. Who would have been the quarterback? Who knows at that point? Yep. Who knows who would be throwing the ball to these two guys? But at least they would have the weapons to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they really got a present with Bo Nix. They really did, because he turned out to be an immediate producer in the NFL. Looking at what would be left, Marvin Harrison Jr. for sure would have been the slam pick. But yeah, it may have been a struggle for the first couple years to get him the football.
Las Vegas at number 13, they took Brock Bowers. He's gone in this redraft scenario, though. So I went with J.J. McCarthy here because I don't think even with J.J. McCarthy, they're winning very many games last year anyway. They're probably a couple of years away. So why don't you go ahead and get a younger quarterback? Even if he was going to be out and had to sit this entire season, then at least you're still set up for 2025, considering the fact you won a couple of games at the end of the season for absolutely no reason, and now you're not picking nearly as high as you once were.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel bad
for O'Connell's not the guy.
No, and I would feel bad for J.J. McCarthy if he was in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? Like that's almost like a death sentence to your career. I mean, maybe they turn it around in the future, but they definitely needed a quarterback, and if he was there, more than likely he gets taken.
Yep. Talise Fuaga went here at number 14 to the New Orleans Saints. However, he's gone. Already talked about it.
Yep.
Let's go with Rome Odunze instead, especially considering how many injuries they had on the offensive side of the ball in 2024. Rome Odunze would have been really, really good to have there for Derek Carr when Derek Carr was healthy.
I mean, he would have easily had 125 plus targets had he been in New Orleans this year. With the injuries to Chris Olave and everyone else on that offense, he would have absolutely eaten and, dare I say, challenged to be up there with Malik Neighbors at the end of the year, stat-wise.
There's a lot of people that are probably going to argue with me that this should be Ladd McConkey.
In Indianapolis or in New Orleans?
No. With New Orleans here. That he should have went over Rome Odunze. And I get that. And if we're talking about, what we knew now, then we would know that Ladd McConkey was healthy for the entire 2024 season. But coming out of the draft, he had one of the worst injury profiles we have ever seen, not just for a wide receiver, but for an NFL prospect. So if you think that Ladd McConkey should have went here, or he should have went over Marvin Harrison Jr. or something like that, I get that argument and it makes sense. But I feel like with those players at those times, we still would have went with probably Rome Odunze over McConkey anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at Ladd McConkey and what he did. You also got to remember, though, it's because he was all they had, right? Like there wasn't a whole lot of. Are we really saying Josh Palmer is going to take things away? Or DJ Chark was hurt for most of. Ladd McConkey was all they had. You know what I mean? So
Quentin that Johnson can't catch.
Yeah, Quentin Johnston he's like oven mitts. He glues his fingers together. I don't know what's going on. It's bad. He can't catch footballs. So it made sense for Ladd McConkey to have a great year in an offense that really could have utilized him. Had he gone to another one of these places, maybe he doesn't see that type of target share. So it just kind of depends.
Indianapolis at number 15 goes with Laiatu Latu. Excellent pass rusher. And honestly, you could probably keep that pick here and be honest with it or be fine with it. But honestly, in my opinion, Anthony Richardson and his development this year wasn't nearly as good as we would have liked. So why don't we work on that offensive line? J.C. Latham, who was taken much earlier by Tennessee, Indianapolis takes him instead, and then they help kind of with that progression that Anthony Richardson needs to do, especially going into this year, which is really going to be kind of a make or break year for the former top 5 pick.
Yep, agreed.
All right. That's redoing the first 15 picks of the 2024 NFL draft. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this that are a little bit more in-depth, full-length videos that we post by themselves, let us know down in the comments, and we'll see if we can get one of those done here for you soon, especially one that does like the next 15 or so picks to end the first round. Let's go ahead and jump into segment number 5. Let's have some fun here, and we're going to talk bad lip reading. This is a trend that's on social media right now where you have to mouth something to the other person and then they have to try and guess what is being said.
I hate that I have to stare at your lips for the next 5 minutes. See, this is just going to turn out bad for everyone. I apologize to everyone on YouTube for this.
That's all I'm going to do. Just lick my lips.
All right, Kyle. So we each have 3 phrases that we're going to lip sync to the other.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You then have, do we want to say just 2 guesses in order to get it right? Best of 3, see who gets the most points.
We can do that.
So you only get 2 guesses.
Yes.
Okay. Now.
All right.
Do I just lip this or do I need to mute my microphone for this?
Well, that's what I was going to say is I was thinking about muting myself so I could actually say it because it might actually like help a little bit.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to mute my mic when I say mine.
Okay. You mute your mic when... How do I don't even know how to mute my mic. Is it this button?
Okay.
All right, that's my mute button. I found it.
I found it too.
Okay.
All right, who's going first?
Go ahead. I'll let you go first this time.
I'll go first. All right, ready? Ready for the first one?
Yes. I know it.
What is it?
I love White Castle.
There it is. That was good.
Dude.
You got that right away.
Yeah. I'm like, you got my spidey senses going and everything.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready now?
You know a game that I'm really good at? I'm really good at the games where they have the cards and it's like a popular saying on it, but like the words rhyme or they don't really make a whole lot.
It's like gibberish or something like that.
Yes. Those games I'm really good at. I'm not any good at this.
Well,
I highly anticipate I'll lose this one.
If I had to guess, Kyle, I think you go 0 for 3.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right.
man.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Let me mute my microphone.
Okay.
Here is your first phrase, Kyle.
You got to give it to me one more time.
Okay, one more time.
I need a second. Is the word peanut in it?
Absolutely not.
Told you I'm all.
Absolutely not.
Like at one point, like I thought it was something like peanut butter fudging me.
I will give you a hint.
Okay.
It's one of the most popular sayings or phrases of all time.
That doesn't even help at all.
It's not like I made up like something like personal about you. You know what I mean? It's like a well-known phrase that is probably known by 90% of humans.
Is it be kind to others?
No.
Dang it.
You get one more shot.
Am I on the right track?
Absolutely not.
Oh, God. I don't even want the third guess. I just give up.
It is May the Force be with you.
Oh, I'm not a Star Wars fan.
I didn't say you had to be a fan, but you've heard of it before.
Yeah, but my mind doesn't even go there.
Well, the next two, I don't think you're going to get either. All right. Next up, Kyle. My turn.
Oh, okay. We're going to go again? Oh, no.
Best of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought when you said my turn, I thought you were going to say it again.
No.
I was like, wait, it's my turn to say it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Do it one more time. I know it.
Ew.
I know it.
What is it?
Amari Cooper is my favorite wide receiver.
You're solid at this,
dude.
I'm glad I learned that though before we bet something on this. Now I
Yeah,
know
now
if
that
we
you
do
know, like,
this
we
again
cannot
in the
bet things
future,
on it.
We're not betting.
Okay, so that means if you get this wrong, Kyle, the game is over.
All right, can I just give you my last one just for
fun?
shits and giggles first? Just for fun.
Okay, yeah. So this one does not count against me.
Okay, well, no, you go ahead and go first, and if I lose, I'll do mine anyway real quick.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you want the easier one or the harder one first?
The easier one.
Okay. Ready?
Yes. You know who would be really disappointed in me right now?
Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
Anna would be super upset with me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we should have Anna on as a special
I didn't
guest
sign
to
language
do
it
this.
to you.
No, but she works in that field, so if I had to guess, she's decent at reading lips.
Reading lips. Do you need me to do it one more time?
You can. I don't know what it is. I have no clue. I have absolutely no idea. I cannot tell. Is it something about needing to use the bathroom?
No.
No. See,
Kyle, how good are combined cinnamon rolls?
Oh, oh my God, they are so good.
For those of you who don't know and think I just had some random phrase, no. Every time we go to the combine, I think Kyle makes it a daily occurrence of getting at least 3 to 4 cinnamon rolls in the lobby before we leave.
They're so good.
Yeah.
The hotel we stay at has such good scent. They're warm.
Yep.
They're soft. They're moist. They're not like cinnamon rolls where like the outside is super hard, so you kind of like don't want that. So no, the entire thing is soft.
Yeah, I know.
Literally melts in your mouth.
Yep. All right, Kyle. Well, I won, but you can do your third one.
Okay.
And then we'll have to do my third one because it's going to be hilarious.
Oh God, I'm not gonna get it anyway.
You won't. Well, if you can't even say it, how am I supposed to know? Yes, I know what it is, Kyle. You just said I have male pattern baldness.
Yes.
Why am I so good at this game?
I don't know, dude. Like,
it's almost
not even-
scary.
I don't know. Do I just enunciate really well?
I can't hear it, so how am I supposed to know if you're enunciating?
You could still see it in my lips. Maybe I just have really nice lips.
All right, I'm doing my third one. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it.
You're not.
Okay. I no idea. Absolutely no idea whatsoever.
But you know what I'm talking about when I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
A 3-foot wave almost killed Ethan. I wish we had. Do you still have that video?
It wasn't sent to me, but didn't Taylor get it somehow?
Taylor, if you have that video, please insert it now. If you do not.
Oh I would be forever indebted to Taylor if he did this.
I don't know if he has it.
I feel like he talked.
Taylor, if you
Ethan's
have
wife
it,
into
please
sending
insert it in this video, the video that is. And if you don't have it, we'll try to find it so everybody out there knows what we're talking about. But the dude got taken out by a wave yay high. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Woo.
All right,
All
Kyle,
right.
that was
let's
fun.
move
I like
on
that
to
game. Let's play that one again in the future.
Oh, God, I suck at that. I'm going to have someone come in my place. Let's go with segment number 6. Is the cup empty? All signs and everything pointing from the LA Rams is not only are they willing to work with Cooper Kupp to trade him and move him somewhere, I wouldn't say maybe of his preference, but somewhere that would fit for him, but they're willing apparently to eat a large chunk of the money left to go ahead and move on from him. Where does he land?
This is tough, Kyle, because I think there's a few options out there, maybe some of them a little bit more well-known than others. The first one that came to mind because it makes no damn sense, but yet would show that the team is trying to do something, would be the Dallas Cowboys. It makes no damn sense.
They are very good at trading third-round picks for crap wide receivers.
It's just kind of like what they do. Like, oh, see, I'm all in. We're going and getting Cooper Kupp. Like, he's past his prime. And it would just like, they need wide receiver help. It sucks because him and CeeDee Lamb both love to be in the slot. Doesn't really help anything on the outside. But like, I could totally see that being a Jerry Jones move.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't love it, though. I don't like it.
The thing about Cooper Kupp is I think realistically he could land anywhere at this point, because it doesn't sound like a team's going to have to take on a bunch of money, and it sounds like they're not going to have to give up a whole lot of draft capital to make it work. Now, I think preferably the team needs to be somebody that already has at least one established wide receiver. You have to have somebody that is going to be the number one guy, because Cooper Kupp isn't going to be that guy anymore. And I think you have to have kind of your slot position open up. You need to allow him to play in the slot, because I think that is where he's going to be most viable moving forward. So there are several sites right now that have already put out betting odds, and maybe these have changed. I'm not 100% sure. Yesterday when I was reading about the news, I kind of saw a few pop up. The betting leader right now, not only for Myles Garrett, but for Cooper Kupp, is the Detroit Lions. And I don't know if it makes a whole... Myles Garrett does. If Myles Garrett goes to Detroit, I will be super excited. Cooper Kupp, I don't know if he makes a whole lot of sense, but Brad Holmes is the one that scouted and drafted Cooper Kupp. So he knows Cooper Kupp. And if it's not going to cost much for the Lions, based on all of the injuries they had this past season, it would make sense if they don't have to give up a bunch of draft capital to bring in a guy that he loves, especially if he feels like he's a locker room guy, right? We've seen Detroit kind of make that argument. I don't think Detroit needs to trade for Cooper Kupp. Bring Tim Patrick back. You still have Khalif Raymond, obviously Jameson Williams, and obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Cooper Kupp are a little bit too close to the same person for me, and that's why I don't know.
Except one is more healthier than the other.
Exactly. So I don't know if I love that fit. I don't know if I'm on board with that type of fit. But I also could see him going to a team.
I have an interesting one.
Okay, let's hear it.
How about Baltimore?
I could see Baltimore.
They don't give Lamar Jackson weapons.
Yep.
They're not going to be able to get a whole lot, but if they could get him for cheap and at least... I don't love how similar also like him and Zay Flowers could be also. It's not like Zay Flowers is a large outside presence, but with the tight ends that they have there, and then if you had Zay Flowers and Cooper Kupp, it gives the Ravens an opportunity to add an offensive weapon to maybe help put them over the hump that doesn't cost them hardly anything.
Yeah, and I could also see a team that's like maybe feels like they could be there this year, but really wouldn't be, like New England. I think New England could be a team where they're like, hey, let's give Drake May another weapon. Let's see what happens with that. They potentially draft like Travis Hunter to potentially play wide receiver or cornerback, depending on what he decides. I could see a team like that. I could see a team maybe like the New York Giants, who think with drafting a quarterback that they're going to be a step closer. I think he might fit well in that offense as well. So I could see a team also trying to make a move where it excites the fan base a little bit as well, because they think they might be there. But Cooper Kupp is going to have some sort of a say in where he goes, I believe.
I would have to think that as well. I think that the relationship between them and him and the Los Angeles Rams is good enough that they're not going to just send him somewhere like Tennessee to die.
Absolutely. Jake, that does it for another episode of Pick Six.
Perfect.
Had some fun. As always, make sure you leave a comment down below on the multiple things that we've talked about today. And don't forget, we talked about a giveaway at the very top of the show. Make sure that you get in on that right away. Leave your comments down below. If you don't know what giveaway I'm talking about, then you got to go back to the beginning and you got to
start
restart
all over again.
Headliner Nation, we appreciate everybody tuning into these videos during the off season. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, tell the dude that's peeing next to you at the urinal to check out Pick Six by the Fantasy Headliners. Headliner Nation, we appreciate y'all. Stay safe and healthy. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.
I'm a headliner.